Hello and welcome. This is an episode of the Link in the Chain podcast. My name is Barbara Murray. I'm a local councillor and I am currently the Lord Mayor of Liverpool. And I'm delighted today to be joined by Adam and Amy. And we're going to be talking about all things youth inspectors. But before we go that far, Amy, how about something about how you got to this point in your career?
Oh gosh, mine's not a simple sentence or a couple of simple paragraphs. Okay, let me just say my background's always been previously media. I've loved media, loved things to do with young people, media, and I've got to say criminology as well. Yes. They're all my areas. So years ago, I did worked across lots of media, set up radio stations, worked in BBC, newspapers, loved it. But I've always loved things that, my passions, as I say, young people, media and criminology in a weird link. But where I can, I've always linked all of them.
Yes.
So I had a good few years working within media. And then I also kind of ended up working, which I loved, with young offenders.
Right.
Really,
very interesting.
Absolutely loved that. And that then kind of widened to working with all different groups of young people.
Yes.
So that then, cut a long story short, for the last few years, I used to my previous roles with Child Friendly City, when they were going for that UNICEF bid for the city, but also then working within participation,
yes,
with youth participation. So that's where we are now. That leads me to now. Yeah. And one of the main groups that I facilitate within my role are the young inspectors. It were a fantastic group of young people, of which Adam's one. So I'll let, if Adam wants to talk about him for now, and then you can ask me more about
we'll come back to it. But the whole notion of young inspectors is interesting. But firstly, Adam, I'd like to know how you became and why you became a young inspector.
Okay, so I suppose I'll start at the beginning. I began as an actor. Started that since year 3, but it was through that I got involved with working with young people. I became a volunteer youth worker. I still am to this day. And through working with my youth worker and boss, Jean, I really got into youth activism. I really got involved, and I've kind of fell in love with giving young people a voice, again, youth participation.
Yes.
And that's something that I really kind of came to find something I just wanted to do.
Yes.
Through that, I began working with the council. I started working with Amy's predecessor, and then it was when you first started with young inspectors, I was invited to go and join a meeting. So I've worked with young inspectors since then, but not that long ago. Was it just last year now? I qualified to be a young inspector, so I've been a young inspector since then, and it's been a really great journey.
When you say qualified, so did you have to pass the test?
So not per se a test, but you get 3 AQA qualifications.
Oh, right. Okay.
That's done over 2 days of training.
Yeah.
So that was like a great way to make sure that we as young inspectors understand our role, our responsibility, and what that means for us. But it's a really accessible way of learning. It's not too difficult. Amy herself teaches it.
Yes.
And it's just a booklet, so it's not like a formal test or anything. But if we do the booklet and we show that we're interested in being a young inspector and that we have the skills, it's absolutely fine.
Right. Therefore, can you tell me the role of a young inspector? What is it
Great
you
question.
do?
Absolutely. So a young inspector is a young person who works with Amy and the council. And what we do is we go and make sure that youth services or any service that will ever deal with a young person, for example, the council's website, and we make sure that those are up to our standards, that they're accessible for young people. We'll do like mystery calls, we'll do inspections of different youth centres. So we'll go and we'll make sure that they meet our criteria, our standards as young people. They're standards that we set to make sure that we feel as young people ourselves, that young people are included, that they have a voice, that they are comfortable in those spaces, that those spaces are providing for those young people. So that can range, as I said, from youth centres and community centres to the council website and how accessible that is for people as well. So it really is a wide range of jobs that we do.
No, that's wonderful, because I am personally someone who is very keen to always hear children and young people's voices. That's always informed me. I've been a teacher and have been a governor for very many years in various schools and different things. I recently had to stand down as a governor at Alder Hey because I was there for a very long time, and they have been very proactive. And over the years, we've really worked on hearing the voice of our young patients. But I noticed, as young inspectors, you did some work with Alder Hey recently.
We did. Last year, for example, they had their Put Children First campaign launch. So they asked for representation of young people to be on the panel. Mayor Steve Rotherham was the chair of the panel. And one of our young inspectors, Casey, was on the panel, and she flew. She was a fantastic panel member. So much so that now they've formalised the board. Casey's a member of that board.
Oh, excellent.
So I know that there's lots of campaigns ahead.
And this really is crucial, this having a voice. It's interesting. One of the beneficiaries of my year as Lord Mayor is going to be Liverpool Literacy Cycle, which runs across the 3 skills: reading, writing and spoken word. And 2025, as it happens, is a year of spoken word. One of the reasons why I'm doing podcasts. But I just think young people being able to speak well is absolutely crucial. And this is why literacy skills are so important. Yes. And I do believe, especially at a time when we're hearing a lot about the mental health of young people, to have the language to articulate how you're feeling, to be able to ask for help and identify that you need help. Because I do think your language is almost a reflection of your brain, because you think in language more often than not. I know we can think in images and other things, and smells can affect us. But for a lot of that, it is language. So we need rich language, but I think confident speaking. And I'm really impressed by Adam, who I met at the World Boxing Championships not long ago.
Yes.
And this whole notion of the young inspectors sits so beautifully with the work I'm trying to do as Lord Mayor, because I am also trying to raise £1 million, most of which will be towards the wages for youth work apprentices. Because although we can get the training paid for from unspent apprenticeship levy, we have to pay the wages. And I set up a scheme about 5-6 years ago, which is level 3, which is like A level, really. And just this year, we're delighted because our first cohort, there was nothing in Liverpool to go on to level 6. But this year, John Moores has started doing an apprenticeship youth work again, and Hope. So we've got 2 universities offering these channels now, and we've got a real employment pathway to being highly skilled. Because for me, it's not just about waving a magic wand and throwing money at it, and all of a sudden, there's people walking the streets talking to kids. It doesn't work like that.
No.
It's highly skilled work. I'm delighted to hear your background there, coming around to it. So you might be interested in an apprenticeship yourself.
And just to say as well on that, because until I've recently moved teams, I've benefited from us having an apprentice, Andrea. And it's been brilliant for her, and I needed it as well. And as we know, it's an ageing workforce, really, within youth work. So we're doing as much as possible. And we've recently actually recorded a video with Hope. To try and promote youth work.
I've been out there shouting, banging the drum.
So, definitely.
And it's what's great about it as well, because I'm not political this year, I'm Lord Mayor, but I can't help but know what's good for the economy. And for youth workers in particular, we recruit locally. And if they go on to do the level 6, level 7, they will stay locally. They're not leaving Liverpool. So those really high level skills will stay here.
It's true.
And I think that's really important for all of us.
Sorry, Adam. I was just going to say that's important as well, because it's who the kids are growing up with.
Absolutely.
It's their role models and seeing where their future can
you
lie
need them to speak the same language as well, to create these really good, successful relationships. I don't think it would work if you brought people in from, I don't know, down south or
we know it wouldn't.
Birmingham accent, whatever,
It requires that kind of familiarity.
I've
always said, through the activism work that I do, I've always said that if we look at the issues in society as an illness, you always give a vaccine to a child. You never give a vaccine after someone's had the illness. And for me, youth work is that vaccine to society's ails. I think what we need to do as a society, as a government, as a city, is to really empower youth workers to empower young people, because it's through young people that we can change tomorrow. Young people are the adults of tomorrow. And so it's really important to me specifically, but I'm sure to you, and I know, Amy,
Adam, you are speaking people or singing music to my ears, because I have a mantra. I have a couple of mantras, actually. As a governor, I always say the children are at the centre of what we do here. Absolutely. It's not about schools or staff. It's about those children leaving school well educated and well looked after and safeguarded.
Yes.
The other one I've got is about early investment. Why spend money after the horse has bolted?
Indeed.
Exactly.
We need to be spending the money down here. The younger, the better.
Yeah.
And you know what? All the information, all the data we can pull together tells us this truth.
Yes, absolutely.
Money spent there pays off later, because it doesn't cost in older age, shall we say, like me, because better educated people get better jobs.
Yes.
They can go out and get a mortgage, buy their own home. They look after their own health better.
Yeah.
There's all these knock-on benefits. And when we invest in youth workers in particular, I see it as the person doing the youth work benefits, they've got a job. The people they're working with, the young people, benefit because somebody's caring for them in a different setting, and they need that.
Yes.
They need to be socialised. It's not just all about school and home.
No,
definitely.
There's a lot of time that needs to be filled and looked after. Then there's the family, because their children are more rounded, happier, contented.
Yes.
And then there's the big, big fat community. We are all happier, because you see those young people coming through, they're not causing disorder.
No.
They're not sitting there looking unhappy. They are becoming well-rounded individuals who will look after all of us as we get older, because they understand the values, and everything works better with that investment.
Yes, it does. And as
you know
it's
what?
got a knock-on effect.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So give me the money. I only want £1 million to start with.
Well,
I
think
Adam.
It's about opportunity. I'm very fortunate to have this opportunity, to have so many opportunities throughout my life that have allowed me to get to where I am.
Yeah.
And will allow me to continue down this path. Although there are so many young people who have not had that chance.
Yes.
There are so many young people who haven't got access to a youth worker, haven't got access to a stable home or to decent education. And so it's about opportunity. If we can empower youth workers to really impact young people in their community, then we can bring about more opportunity, and those opportunities will build and grow. Those opportunities, even just for a decent meal through HAF programs, or through someone to talk to through youth workers, or a safe place to go through youth centres. If we give young people opportunities like that, like what I've had, then we really can empower young people to go and be bigger and better than we are now. And that's something that's absolutely pivotal to not just the survival of our communities, but to the survival of the city as a whole and to the nation.
And also, too, for the collective having had a good life, living a good life.
Yeah.
I think that's really important. The other thing I see qualified youth workers as able to do, though, is putting the arm around and giving careers guidance, doing these kind of things that maybe schools haven't really got the time for. But if you bother to build a good relationship with a young person, and they'll sit and listen to you, you can help them in so many ways.
So many ways. I mean, that's what we do. You know, that image of a youth worker is not the old school image of a youth worker. It's so much more. It's so much more.
It's very skilled.
It's very skilled. And also, you know, things that consultations, focus groups, anything that we've done, young people will say the relationship with the youth worker and the teacher is so different.
Well, of course it is.
Because that's their aim, that's their focus. To
the teacher looks after a class, and they have to be efficient and effective in how they do that. You have to be able to do this when you finish your time with me. youth worker looks in on each child individually.
Yes.
And listens to them,
true.
which comes right back to what we've just earlier said.
Yeah.
The voice of the child.
voice,
and it can come in different ways. It can come from a forum, or it can just come on a one-to-one conversation.
In our group, it certainly does,
Absolutely.
doesn't it? It really does.
And that's enriching.
It is.
Because for a lot of young people, I was talking with someone the other day who said to me that she felt nobody had ever listened to her in her whole life until she started talking with youth workers.
That's it.
As a teenager. And that was when she really felt for the first time she was listened to. And yes, that's probably true for a lot of people.
It's true for a lot of people. And I often think, thank goodness they did find that. Thank goodness they did get that.
But it's all the children who don't. And one of the things I'm serious about is I don't think it's just about living in deprived neighbourhoods.
No,
I think the service has to be for every young person, because it is literally about the people, the young people who are involved.
Yes.
They all have issues, different issues. But growing up, and I can remember being a teenager, it's not easy. You think you know it all, but you don't.
It's not easy. It's not easy.
And you do need guidance. And you don't necessarily want to talk to your parents. You certainly don't want to talk to your teachers. But to have that kind of, I don't know, someone you can trust, who you know is going to give you good advice, I think that's absolutely crucial. And I think it's disgraceful that as a society, we've let that get washed away. Yeah. And that's a national issue. There is a shortage of youth workers, which is why we've had to go out and devise this level 3, create it. And now the universities have realised, and they're bringing the level 6 back. But we're in a dash, really, because it takes, therefore, probably about 4 or 5 years to train people up by the time they do everything. We need these youth workers yesterday. Because I'm of the view, and Adam, I'd be interested in your view as a younger person, that since COVID, young people's issues have absolutely grown.
Oh, they have.
Absolutely.
Can I just add, just before Adam comes in as well, we haven't even touched on social media.
Oh. Yes, that's one of the things I identify.
That's the big contributor.
I identify that.
I think coming at this from both a youth worker's perspective, because I work with primarily primary age, so I'm talking about 5 to 12. There's some variance in that, but usually 5 to 12-year-olds. Now, I work with young people in both contexts, both in youth work over like a half-play scheme, but I'm also youth lead at Team Mush and CIC, so that means that I teach martial arts. I teach a mindfulness and fitness class, and I've just taught a level 1 national certificate in sports leadership.
Oh, excellent.
So I work in both an educational and kind of youth worker kind of environment with young people. One thing that really kind of scares me is social media, and especially following lockdown. What I've noticed is I've seen 8-year-olds now on their phones. Now, I never had a phone until maybe 10, maybe 11. And my life changed so much when I got my phone. When we see 8-year-olds with a phone, I've had kids in work before today care about how they're looking, whether they're skinny enough and that kind of stuff. And it's like, you're 8 years old. This should not be your concern. And so that is concerning to me when I witness that. But I think going on to the lockdown issue, I know from personal experience, because I struggled a lot through lockdown, that there was nothing. There was no access. Like my youth club, which I went to, put on online sessions, but I was the only young person accessing them. So there was so many young people who weren't accessing a youth worker over that time. They weren't seeing their friends as often. They weren't interacting with people. So now when we've seen kind of us go back to normal, if you can use that word, going back to normal, young people don't know how to communicate. It's been shown by Forbes and other magazines that young people have actively, who are going into the youth work now, leaving university and going into like what should be top paying jobs, are actively avoiding going to interviews. I've heard stories of young people who left uni with top honours and they got an offer for an interview at some big massive law firm, and then when they found out they had to go for an interview, they didn't turn up because they couldn't handle speaking to someone.
Do you know, this is one of the things I've been saying around the importance of spoken word. And it can be taught. It can be taught. You know, and that confidence then comes with practice. But oh dear, Adam, you've touched on so much stuff there that he keeps reading my mail.
Yeah, the male Barbara.
I've been developing this argument for some time, and he just sits there and knows it all, doesn't he?
Can I just pick up on that, what you said about, because we've got one member of our group, and I know he won't mind me saying his name, Gerard.
Yes, Gerard.
Because we said this to him the other day when he first joined the Young Inspectors last year. He did not speak.
No.
He did not speak. No.
He
will contribute. That's the nice way of saying it. He will contribute as much as anyone else.
Absolutely.
And
it's fantastic.
Been brilliant.
I've spoken to it's a group of pupils actually from Harmonised Academy came to Town Hall to talk to me. And they were fascinating because most of them didn't know anything about youth provision, just totally unaware of it. So I had to sort of dig to find out what they might like.
Yes.
And all they wanted was somewhere safe and dry to sit and talk with their friends, which wasn't home or school.
Yes.
And you think, honestly, they're not asking for anything.
Be so hard.
But they couldn't see what I could see, which was really beautiful. They wanted to socialise and talk with each other in a space rather than being on a phone.
So in person.
So it's doubling up.
It is.
For us, it's doing two things. A, they're socialising, which they need to do to learn to speak again. But B, it's taking them away for a bit of time.
Yes.
Well, and not being so dependent.
Well, I was going to say, because it's been so difficult trying to find a space for the group to meet.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Because they come from, which is great, they're from different parts of the city, fantastic, but you want to find you
need somewhere central,
ground.
Don't you? An easy place to get to.
It's funny that today I've managed to confirm a most gorgeous space, and I'm so excited. And when I posted the photos, I think everyone wants to move into this space. I'm not going to say where it is.
No.
But you can feel the joy of everyone coming to this space in person.
Yes.
But that's, and
it shouldn't be that
it's
hard.
Not a big ask, is it?
It shouldn't be that difficult.
No, it really shouldn't be. And under the literacy point as well, I think from my experience, just coming to the end of my education, well, my full-time education as a year 13 student, I feel as if the way that the spoken word and the way that English is taught isn't always the most accessible or the best way. I mean, I'm somewhat biased with my theatre background, but I think a play is a play. It's there to play, not read.
Yeah.
And I feel like spoken word and confidence and these things, these are all key employability skills. We've seen a shift with the rise of computer skills. We're the tech generation. We've been born with a phone in our hand. And so we no longer need to learn computer literacy. We learn that as a get-go. What we now need to learn is all the stuff that comes before that. The social skills, the spoken word, being able to express your opinions. And there's so many young people who can't do that.
Yeah.
And if we worked within schools and worked outside of schools and youth provisions to really empower young people to have a voice, to really get them speaking, because I do get loads of youth voice exercises. I'll lead groups, I'll lead workshops. And sometimes they're like pulling teeth to try and get an opinion from young people because they're all so scared to talk.
Yeah.
But once one does, the rest will chime up.
You break the ice, you can get through.
Sorry, Alison, you keep saying things that I want to respond to because, I agree totally, because I also used to teach English. I love the English language. Honestly, I really, really do. But my concern is because of that lack of skills and the fear of the lack of skills, it's the AI threat.
Yes, absolutely.
That it's going to lose the beauty of natural language.
100%.
But I think, therefore, we have to rescue socialisation, talking, and sitting together and making conversation now. Because if we're not careful, in a couple of years from here, we could lose this opportunity entirely. We could slip into a completely different kind of definition of being human. And these are human skills.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And we need to polish 100%. Them and make them shine. And, our young people, we should be passing on these skills to them. Yeah. And sadly, this is what will happen. Oh, my baby's crying. Look at my phone.
Yes. Well, that's already happening.
It's happening anyway.
So we need to wake up. Absolutely. This year, I don't know if you're aware, I'll send it over in case I haven't already. As Lord Mayor, I am doing something called The Challenge. And the challenge has gone out to all schools, to the head teachers and the chairs of governors. Yeah. And it's ask your school. I want every single school in the city to raise some money towards my charity fundraising, which is to help regenerate youth work and youth provision in the city. And for the young people, and this is the way I've worded it, is it's not just about raising large amounts of money. I don't expect them to. What I really want them to do is think about what I'm asking and why I'm doing it. I want them to start talking about what youth provision is and for them to have ownership. Because, if I'm successful and I raise the money and we get youth workers back on the streets, they'll know who they are and they will know they've played a part in bringing them back. True. The challenge also goes to businesses. Sponsor an apprentice. Have an apprentice on your team. Do this because we need to get these youth workers here quickly. And it could be a case of some big organisations, and I can think of some where this would be applicable. You're already paying the wages of your staff. Train some of them up to be youth workers as well, because your line of business, that would be a very good skill to have. You might even have space in your organisation for a youth worker to then put events on. So we're trying to think innovatively, if that's the right word, to try and regenerate this as quickly as possible. And as I've probably already said to you both, I'm only Lord Mayor for 1 year.
Okay.
So only got to next May to kickstart all of this. But I am absolutely on it. And I'm talking to everybody all over the place. And this podcast is about doing that as well. And it was really important to have you front facing to talk about this so that when these podcasts go live, please help push them out because we need that conversation to start. The challenge I will share with you, I am going to be putting it up probably on Facebook and Twitter this weekend. But it's about I'm calling it a conversation campaign almost. Yeah. I can't decide which it is, but the conversation is important because it's part of the year's spoken word as well. Of course it is. And it's all part of this thing we're saying. Everybody needs to be involved. Everybody needs to be talking about the importance of this youth provision for young people. It doesn't go away. Young people keep getting born.
That's it.
We still haven't quite got it right. Why aren't we investing in them?
I think it's about a unified approach. We as youth workers, we as young people, we as businesses, as schools, as the government, as local government, as the police, as everybody, everyone who has a role in a community has to come together and work together because we can't do things alone. If we start carrying on down this path of we do our thing, you do your thing, and we're doing this, you do whatever you want, it's fine, it's not going to affect us. It does affect each other. And I think we as organisations, the police, the local council, everyone needs to start working together to have a unified approach. As you say, getting businesses involved, getting schools involved. We can't do this alone. As we said at the beginning, it's about kind of targeting young people, that vaccine, get it in there. But we can't just expect youth workers to do that. We need to support youth workers. It's
everybody needs to come together on this. But one of the other things I am doing this year is pulling together the current network of providers, if you like, because they need to be talking to each other as well. Yes. And one of the things I'm really keen to know about is because they're working with young people, they're probably the first to hear stuff when it comes up. So, for example, we have a ketamine problem in Liverpool.
Yes.
Very young children.
Big problem.
Being very badly hurt by that use. And the youth workers are almost the voice for the young people as well, because they can raise these issues at that level, the political level almost, if you like. But it's got to come from there, and we need that amplification to be taking place. It's absolutely crucial that we hear what's happening on the ground.
Yes.
And that's why we do need a lot of youth workers.
We do.
You know, what on earth are we doing? And the other thing I'm setting up is this network anyway. So they're talking to each other. And what people have been telling me is sort of after COVID and because of cuts and things, they used to all meet. They no longer do.
They did.
And this ties in with something we were talking about earlier.
Yes.
I mean, this transformation.
Yes, it does.
Pilot. There is a whole section in there on the city strategy.
Yes.
And that's what we're going to be talking about with the network when we meet up.
Good.
Because I'm a great believer in collaboration and partnership. You get more for your money.
You really do. I mean, as Adam said, you know, it's that reinventing the wheel, all of the different sectors. The young people are the core.
Yes.
That's all that should matter. Everyone knows that there needs to be more cohesion and collaboration. And personally, I don't know, I can never understand why things are so hard to do, because it's we've had, you know, Every Child Matters, the voice of the child, the this, the that. When will the voice of the child really matter?
Yes, indeed.
And I also think as well, we as youth workers aren't empowered to do our job if we don't know what opportunities there are for young people. If we communicate, if we work together, I can then say to a young person I work with, oh, by the way, another youth centre, which is accessible to you, is doing this.
Yes.
You'd be interested in that. Do you want to go and have a look?
That signposting, I think, is absolutely crucial.
Absolutely.
But this is why it's got to be highly qualified youth workers. They need to be able to know how to go and find out what's there. They need to be able to deliver that offer on behalf of organisations to young people. If a young person says, oh, you know, I'd love to do this. Well, I know where you can do that and get that experience. You know, it's that connecting, isn't it?
Or have the resources to do it.
Exactly. Exactly. And I don't know, I'll go back to the young people who came from Harmonise. They came up with this, and you can see it. I think we've posted it online. How does it go? It goes, invest in us, believe in us, join the chain reaction, be a link in the chain.
Oh, good.
Which is what we're trying to do. And they're fully supportive. And it's interesting, once you engage young people in this conversation, they understand.
Yeah.
They absolutely understand why, and they want it.
Yes, we do.
Now they've got to start demanding it.
Yeah.
And then people have got to not just hear them, got to listen.
Yes.
Yes, I think
as well.
Too often we see youth voice for the sake of doing youth voice. We see it because it's a tick box exercise.
But we don't do that.
But we can't do that.
We don't do that. We don't do that.
We don't.
And
but people do.
Sadly, people do. But
that can change.
I think that
yes, exactly.
It can become meaningful. And I think the way to drive it to meaningful is by getting everybody on board. Yes. And this is why it's got to be a citywide campaign conversation. We all need to be saying, and I'm just so delighted the two of you are here today because you're helping me start that conversation. That's what we're doing here with these podcasts. We're trying to open it up.
Well, I'm just thinking, obviously, you'll know that at the beginning of November's Youth Work Week.
Yes.
As well. So that's something that we want to get highly involved with. So what we're doing, we're going to hopefully next week, this is using National Youth Agency's guidelines as well. We are going to be sending the youth providers, going round with a pledge, getting them to do a pledge based on the themes. And then, I haven't asked you yet, want the young inspectors to go after the time frame and see if they've upheld those pledges.
Yes. Oh, very good.
Okay,
very
because it's about accountability as well.
Absolutely.
It is.
Isn't it?
And I just think most things are measurable.
Yeah.
We can measure the impact.
Yeah,
I've told you, I can see in the data, as the spend on youth provision went down, youth ASB, youth criminality, youth mental health, all of this has gone up. Yeah. And it's proportionate.
Of course.
As one's gone down, the other's gone up. The only way to bring that back down is to invest.
Yeah.
It's the bottom line. We have to invest in changing that.
Yeah.
It's not good. You know, when you're young, you should really enjoy your life.
Of course.
You know, before you have, I don't know, responsibilities.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
You should you shouldn't have any weight on you.
Young people.
You should not be experiencing anxiety.
Yeah, I think it's that because anxiety and everything mental health aside, because that's so big, young people cannot be young people these days.
No, we can't.
It's not fair. And so I think as a society, as a community, we've robbed young people of something, and we really need to get our act together and return it.
Yes,
back
I agree.
to them, back to you, because you deserve it. We've had it. I had it.
Yeah.
And I've been lucky enough to be one of the few who's got stuff from youth work. I've been able to access youth work. I've been able to use that to empower myself. But there are so many who can't. That's why actually I'm running a crime prevention organisation that is an event that's going to be happening hopefully late November now.
Oh, very good.
Doing targeted and specific youth work with vulnerable and at-risk young people. And that is because I see the value, like you said, the statistics, as one goes down, the other goes up. And we need to find a way to stop that incline. We need to find a way to balance it out. And then we need to start investing to take it back down. And it's just youth work is such an unstable career. It's funding dependent. There's no guarantee that you'll
shouldn't be like that.
It shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't. Because as you say, it's a guarantee. There'll always be young people.
What I'm trying to do here,
young people.
What I'm trying to do here is establish, by raising $1 million, it costs us, I think, $250,000 to do a cohort of 8 to 10. Because we pay a living wage. We can't recruit till we've got the money in place. It's ridiculous. But what I'd love to see is a September intake for the next 3 or 4 years, which then is in line with other educational establishments. So when they finish their level 2s, the level 3s, they're ready to move on to level 6. And that's a proper pathway. But in that process, I'm buying time for Liverpool. We've got a model that could be rolled out nationally. We can do this. But I'm focused on Liverpool. This is where we are. We can't wait for the government to sort out his transformation plan. We need it now. We actually need it now. So I'm hoping to borrow some money so that we've got 3 or 4 years where we can say, well, we're now waiting for a government to come along and invest in our young people and keep lobbying and keep arguing and having these conversations, because do you know what? We should put children first and young people first.
Always.
They're the future. You're absolutely the future. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you.
No, thank you for the opportunity to get out, you know.
It's been wonderful.
Sometimes it's when you say things loud, it makes you get a bit of clarity in your head.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's important that there's more opportunities like this for young people to have a say, to get involved and to help drive the change. I think it's really important.
They need to engage with my challenge, and let's wait and see what happens.
Okay. Yes. Please.
Thank you.
Thank you.